Good evening from Sheffield's Crucible Theatre, where the curtain has come down on day 6 of the Betfred World Snooker Championship.
News of 4 matches to bring you this evening, and we begin with the second sessions of the 2 remaining matches in round 1.
First up, Judd Trump, the 2011 runner-up, who held a 7-2 lead overnight against English qualifier Stuart Carrington. The Grimsby Cuman won 3 of the first 4 frames this afternoon to keep his hopes alive, and as we join it in frame 14, it's Trump to play.
You see that red's in play there. Without, you've got to play that with side to get round that red.
You need to just check up on that on this practice tape, because every one of those thick. And 3 of them, all of them have been thick.
Good pot that. Obviously the black passes the red. So it's a chance to get a sizable lead in this frame. And John mentioned 8-6. You start to worry about things. But 8-5, you're not too worried. So probably a bigger frame for Judd than it is for Carrington, really. He's really fancies the job at the moment.
It's funny talking about that, isn't it? You know, people will think, what's he won about 8-5, 8-6? But just as a player, you sort of you sense these things, don't you? You can see somebody catching you.
You can feel them on your shoulder, can't you, when it 8-6? You can't at 8-5 for some reason.
No.
We've mentioned earlier in commentary, but whatever happens in this match, we're going to see an awful lot of this young man. Just think he needs to speed up a little bit, John, in his average shot time.
Yeah, probably. That might come with a little bit more confidence in playing in the bigger venues. And you know, he's trying to be. There's moments, of course, he can't make any mistakes, so he's just trying to be correct in everything he does. Don't blame him in the slightest. And of course, I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose, but he's probably not doing Judd too many favours, being a little bit slow. Judd like to have an open game where it's a lot quicker, so it's probably going a little bit against Judd, but that's, you know, it's not a legitimate tactic he's using or employing, it's just the way he's playing. And from Judd's point of view, you've got to beat everyone who comes up against you, no matter how they play. Beauty of this great game.
And potting this red, he's opening up another red just below it. That'll pot in the left-hand corner. So he needs an angle on the black. And he's got the perfect angle now to play for that
17.
red. Not a great pack to go into, to be honest. I'd suggest playing for the loose red this time rather than go into them.
Do you think that one at the bottom of the cluster goes?
Yeah, definitely.
That might be a couple of shots down the line. If he finishes low on that one, he'd certainly open the pack up. They're playing on it.
Now it's decision time. If he's going to go into the pack, it's best to go into from the side he is now. Going in from the other side, he'll have very little room to not hit the first red. It's all about missing the first red. Oh, you're kidding me. That's just purely lack of concentration. Concentrated so hard on getting the right angle on the black. Completely took his eyes off the red. Schoolboy error. Amazing. Just beginning to feel the heat.
Another example of these championship pockets as well. Always makes me giggle when some of my pals in the snooker club say, oh, those big pockets you're playing on. Take it from me, they are not. Great pot. You mentioned he'd missed 3 down that side. Well, that's how to rectify it. Okay, it's only a 25% success rate, but that was a beauty. And he knew full well he'd get the cannon off the other red, so the cue ball had come back down the table. It's just getting a little bit dangerous, this match, for Judd Trump. He needs to score here. He could end up embroiled in a really tough match.
This looks to be over it. If he's on one of the 2 reds to the left of the pink, it's not the reds he played on.
5.
There you can see he is. He didn't play anywhere near there, that's for certain.
I think he might take it, though.
Quickly. Played for choice of pink or black there.
7.
Obviously, the pink's going to be spot. It's going to be a tough job for the referee at the moment. Just will be hoping that the pink, in a couple of shots' time, will be available into one of the corner pockets. He'll be working on the black for the next couple.
Twelve. Thirteen.
Now, with the pink pots, he may decide to play for the pink here rather than the black, but it looks like he's played for the black.
21.
I think it's a key moment in this match now for Judd Trump. Obviously, he's still favourite to win it, whatever happens. But he'd like to, just let Stuart Carrington know he's still there, because at the minute, apart from the one break he made in winning his frame in this session, he hasn't looked very good at all.
29.
At the highest break in this match, 97 for Carrington, 85 for Judd. I've hardly seen a player that can generate so much spin, John, from little power. He just gets through the ball amazingly well.
36.
That's timing, isn't it? It is really timing. And when you ask, people say to you, what do you mean by that? What is timing? It's the individual's ability just to hit the ball sweetly, isn't it?
37.
It's just, he seems to hit it so nicely with so little effort.
This could be the key shot. If he gets nicely on the red to be able to bring the reds into play. Is he on it? Just about. Thought for a moment
42.
Johnny hadn't come far enough down, but when we show you the next camera angle, you will see that he is.
I'm just wondering whether he'd take this chance just to play a little stun run through here and just nudge your red out on the way through, but possibility.
Like that, yeah, like that. John Barnaby on pink or black as well.
43.
He needs to get to 69 points to leave Carrington needing a snooker. May have to play for the red in the middle. It doesn't look like anything pops in the same pocket as playing the black into. That's why it might be taking the pink.
Yeah, he's just got to be a little bit careful with this shot, hasn't he? It's not absolutely straightforward once he plays that cannon into the red. Oh, well played. Nice touch.
Very much like a Ronnie O'Sullivan or Jimmy White. He just reads the game so quickly. And he works out what's going to happen with the reds when he plays the cannon into them. He realises that even if the pink went back where it is now, not on its own spot, this red would still be available.
$49.
Just checking to see whether the pink will still go, and if it does, he'd like to get onto that pink rather than anything else, because it would bring the other two reds away from the pink spot.
I think he was just thinking there whether to play the run through, wasn't he? Just going to play that and then run through on the pink, but he's changed his shot again.
Yeah, John's suggesting playing the top spin and either bring the pink, push the pink over the corner, and if it doesn't work, you're on the black. But I think he should just hold it. That's what he looks like he's doing. Went up for the blue. Surprising.
50.
To be honest with you, that was the safe shot, wasn't it? As long as you get the right side of the blue, there's at least 2 or 3 reds pot in there, so you can give yourself an option. It was an interesting little situation. That was one that could have gone wrong, so he backed off a couple of times and he played the right shot there.
55. $56.
So 39 points in front. Red and colour. This has been really a good effort from Judd. He's been kept out of the game. He's missed a lot of balls. And this, of course, is frame ball, which takes him over the 68 points he needs. That's what that sidebar is.
You mentioned earlier in the session he was slightly frozen out and then he scored a 70 break to win the frame. And this has been very good. The opening red was a cracker.
70.
Well, to think there's a possibility of making a century where the balls are, this has been a first-class effort, especially under the circumstances.
75.
Always looked on. I don't know why the crowd thought he didn't play it in that pocket.
One of yours, that, Willie.
You can look at a million tapes, John. I won't find one of those from me. Well, what a shame there was no century, but what he did, what he had to do, win that frame to keep Carrington that few frames away from victory. Did Trump goes 9-5 in front.
Well, Stuart Carrington made Judd wait. He won frame 15, but the world number 6 eventually got over the line. A break of 109 in the next secured him a 10-6 victory and set up a second round clash with Marco Fu, a match which gets underway on Sunday morning.
I knew that the first played a couple of iffy safeties and it felt awkward. I knew from then on it was going to be a tough game to get through today. But credit to him, he played very, very well. Probably the best I've seen for first visit here. He hardly missed the ball today, so he deserves a lot of credit for that. And I think he'll take a lot from it today. I felt it was a good game. We both played some good stuff. I felt the standard was very high. If I play like that throughout the tournament, I think I'll have a good chance.
And the last man through to the last 16 was Sean Murphy. Having been 7-2 ahead after the first session of his match against Finland's Robin Hull, the 2005 champion needed little over an hour this evening to secure the 3 frames he required to ease into the second round for the 10th time in 13 visits to the Crucible. Looking good for a 147 at one stage in the final frame, Murphy lost position on the 10th red, but by then the frame was as good as over and he went on to register his 40th century of the season. It was a disappointing 4th Crucible appearance for Hull, who's yet to progress beyond the opening round. 10-3 the final score.
I'm very happy to get through that first match. You know, Robin's a very, very good player and a massive potential banana skin there avoided for me. You know, he came here very, very sharp, having come through the qualifiers, and anyone involved in snooker to any level knows who he is, knows what he's capable of, as do I. And you know, very, very pleased to come through. My game's never been in as good shape. I'm scoring well, my safety's good, my long potting's there. And you know, I'm back to playing my old-fashioned style of if the shot's on, I'm probably going to go for it. So everyone should come with a mask, with a helmet on, you know, watching, because anything could happen.
So certainly a case of 2 of the big hitters in this year's championship, you would think. They've made the progress. What have you thought of them?
I think, yeah, they did their job very well. I think Sean Murphy was excellent, got off to a great start, then turned the tables in the next couple of frames. So he got off to a flyer and then looked so strong that I don't think ever Robin Hull was in the match. Judd Trump had to work a bit harder, but once again, he had 7-2 lead overnight, and really you've done the damage in the first session. So they can be very pleased with themselves. OK, Steve, so both Sean and Judd through to the second round. And this is how they line up in the draw. Mark Selby, the defending champion, faces Anthony McGill. News of that match on the way.
Joe Perry plays Sean Murphy. They start on Sunday.
It's Barry Hawkins against Northern Ireland's Mark Allen.
Ali Carter and the 2010 champion Neil Robertson get going on Saturday.
Already underway, Ding Junhui and John Higgins. Action coming up later.
Hong Kong's Marco Fu will face Judd Trump.
Graham Dott, one of 6 former champions still in the field, takes on Stuart Bingham in the morning.
And Wales' last man standing, Matthew Stevens, will look to stop Ronnie O'Sullivan. So round 2 is the best of 25 frames. Mark Selby took on Scottish qualifier Anthony McGill earlier this afternoon. And here's what happened in the first 8 frames.
Defending champion isn't relaxed yet.
And Anthony McGill, just the start that he was after.
The angle is so good, I may have to do it.
What a start for this young ginger-haired magician. And he's played that perfectly.
He's got his first frame on the board.
More of a little grimace there, wasn't it, than a smile. We go to the mid-session interval. It's even Stevens, 2 frames all. Now let's see where this goes. I'll tell you what, hang on a minute. What a shot! That's more like it from the defending champion. It's 3 in a row for Mark Selby. What about that for a shot? What an absolute gem of a shot. But he's still going to pot the black.
Oh, he's missed it.
It's 4 frames all.
So, as Steve would say himself, a very interesting session.
Yes, I suppose most people thought that Mark Selby was going to win the match comfortably, not knowing Anthony McGill, but both players quite relaxed. But I think Anthony McGill, amazingly, just grinning from ear to ear. And it wasn't because he didn't think he had a chance in the match, he's just enjoyed himself at the Crucible Theatre. And he had a chance to win the session 5-3. Potted the pink, was perfectly on the black, really, but was still smiling as he missed it. Yeah. And then Mark Selby potted it for a grateful 4-4 at the end of the session.
OK, Steve, thanks very much. Time to turn our attention to two men whose head-to-head record is actually 8 apiece, but have never met at the Crucible Theatre. China's Ding Junhui and Scotland's John Higgins. It was Higgins who took the first 2 frames. We're going to pick it up in the third. It's Higgins to play, no score.
I was going to say, if he didn't catch this right, surely he leaves the red. It cuts. It definitely cuts. And John wasn't too happy with the way it rolled. He was trying to get right in to the cushion and the red. He knew he couldn't hit the red going, as we could see, but did he roll off? Well, maybe it did just drift to the left slightly.
1.
And you just feel for his own self-belief here, Will, that he's got to start scoring from these opportunities, hasn't he?
Another break of 30 in the opening 2 frames. Highest break only 24 at the moment. And he was in the balls really nicely then when he broke down on 24. Not a great chance yet until he gets the black in play. The pink's out of play at the moment. Black very soon will be in play when he gets rid of the red that's over the pocket. That's the one he's playing for now. Oh, he's got into the cue ball a bit too much there. He'll still have to play that red that's over the pocket, I think. But the colour's not guaranteed. Lots of check side needed here to go up for blue or ball colour.
Yeah, when we just say check side, he'll play this with left-hand side, because the natural angle is to pot the red and run into the other red. So lots of left-hand side. Well, he's one of them that puts them on late, is he? What's he playing? Oh, he thinks he can get on the pink. Beautifully played. That's more like the Ding we know. Yeah, when I first saw him playing that, I thought, well, why isn't he playing with side on? I suppose, in a way, there was a little bit of a risk playing for the pink, but he judged the cannon to perfection. And that's why everybody in the game rates Ding Junhui when he gets in his position, because he can play those little cannons that he played to get on the pink there. So let's see what he can do with this. He's created an opportunity for himself here, and it's a good one.
Yeah, not this season, but up until and including last season, he was probably the best break builder in the game. You know, I mean, just every time he got in, he was making 100.
13. Yep.
Well, he's either overhit that or he's got to bounce, because he didn't want to have this potting angle on the black. Yeah, it flew off the top cushion. I've been talking to 1 or 2 players, Willie, I don't know about you, but a few of them have said they're not too happy with the conditions. Said there's been 1 or 2 or too many heavy contacts and too many bounces.
20.
Tables look lovely from up here, but we've never missed a shot in the commentary box, have we? Never had a kick, never had a big bounce. Certainly never missed a black off the spot. There you see, there's the bar showing you 69 is the target to get to Snooker's required.
And that's a good
21.
pace, and that's the thing that the beauty of Ding as well. When he's playing well, I know he's not playing well at the moment, but when he is playing well, he very rarely gets the wrong side of the blue. He's very, very good at judging that shot nicely. Played most of last season, didn't he, in a grey suit, and that's probably the reason he sacked that one. Didn't have a very good
26.
season.
Well, I don't know. Wearing a grey suit, winning 5 tournaments, but he didn't do well here. So maybe grey doesn't go with the Crucible. I like a dark suit and a nice white, crisp shirt. Trying to reach this red, but he's having to get the rest.
Twenty-seven.
So far, so good. He's taking this opportunity nicely.
Yes, I think it'll be a little surprised now if he didn't score enough at this visit to win the frame. In saying that, he's played for one in the middle again this time, which is he's going to work on the pink for a couple of shots just to get rid of these 2 reds to the right of the pink. Looks like he's going up for the blue now, not playing for the pink.
34. $39. $40.
Slightly overhit, but it's okay because the 2 reds to the right of the pink spot there, they both pot in the same pocket as playing the pink. I've noticed, John, in his first round match against Mark Davis, his tip looks a little bit bigger than he's normally playing with. It's, you know, it's almost a brand new one. Usually people would kind of shave it off or practice with it till it's knocked in. But that looks a big tip for he's played.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I mean, they normally look, as you say, look like that when you just put a new one on. But most players would play one that's been knocked in. In fact, I know a lot of players used to put new tips on other
54.
players' cues and let them knock it in and then take it off and stick it on theirs. But I presume he's getting plenty of practice with it, so he's comfortable, but...
55.
Having watched him all last season when he was playing really well, he never once had a tip that big. Never.
Well, he must be comfortable with it. Normally with a new tip, it's when you come to play with side on
62.
that you really feel the effects of a new tip. There it is. Yeah, it looks... it's a big one. Normally they're a bit more domed than that as well.
63.
But meantime, he's only 1 shot away from winning his first frame of this match.
And then it goes. And he's taken these really well. John Higgins
70.
thought the table just rolled off slightly when he left in the opening red, but he played an excellent positional shot to get on the pink. And
71.
this is a bit more like the Ding Junhui we know. He's taken these really well. Wow, can he not get through? Can he get... Oh, I think he can
70.
just get past the pink for the red in the middle.
79. $85. $86.
He's a wonderful break, isn't he, when he gets going?
Yeah, career-wise, he's made 384 centuries.
93.
And well played.
100.
And that's the 23rd century. This year's Betfred World
101.
Snooker Championship.
Ding second, John, as well. And 83, I think, is a record, John. With so many players playing well, do you think that could be an eclipse this year?
I think it's in danger.
I do too.
108. 110. 113. 117.
Been an excellent break, this. It really has. And the early positional shot on the pink was the most impressive part to me. A lot of players wouldn't have played that, would they? Well, they'd have played up for the blue or bought colour. But he thought, if I can get the cannon right, stay at this end of the table, I can make a frame-winning contribution. And boy, has he done that. Superb. Absolutely superb. That's the Ding Junhui that we know and love. And that was superbly played. You couldn't play a break much better than that. And he gets his first frame on the scoreboard. That could settle him down.
So a great response from Ding Junhui there, but John Higgins struck back in the next frame with breaks of 43 and 73. So into frame 5, and we pick up the action with Ding at the table, 4 points ahead.
Well, he didn't play the pot, but once again... Ooh, well, I thought that yellow was going to hit the green full in the face. But this is a chance now for John Higgins to put Ding Junhui in trouble. Just got to control the cue ball. He's got 3 balls to snooker behind. Advantage John Higgins now. Well, it's hard to see. I'd love to draw you a line, but it all depends. If he could get past the blue, let's see if we can draw the line and see where he wants to hit on this side. Does that miss the blue? That's the sort of line I'm thinking. No, I don't think it was there. Where's the cue ball going?
John Higgins, 7.
Obviously, John Higgins will have it put back. I think he might have been better served there, Willie, if he hadn't have hit it with as much pace. Might have given more chance for the side to take.
Was he trying to square it up, John, rather than play your 2-cushion escape there? I mean, I thought your line was perfect, but he played it so hard. I don't know whether he was trying to square it up off the cushion and play it off 1 cush. No, he was playing your shot, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Wasn't sure at the time.
The harder you hit it, the less chance of that side imparting on the second cushion.
Yeah.
I've left my line in, so we know where they should be. Although the black obviously was not on its spot, which I suppose makes it a bit more difficult. Let's have a look where they were. That's where they were. And where's the black now? The black's the key. It's almost perfect. Now the cue ball's important because he needs to be able to try that line. But as I say, a little less pace for me. So when the cue ball comes off the second cushion, you can get a bit more side.
But would a little less pace maybe not get the yellow back at the balk end?
That's the problem, but I'd suggest it, the yellow. Well, you can't do it with that pace. You're not giving chance for the side to react.
On miss. John Higgins, 5.
And once again, he's been a little lucky not to have left a free ball. Well, he has left a free ball, but it's not really any good to him, so he'll have him replaced again.
You got it, John.
Well, best of luck with this one, Mr. Camilleri. The problem is here, he's hitting it so hard that he's not giving chance for the side. I know what you're saying, Willie, that if he plays it a bit slower, he may leave the yellow on, but we know how the misrule is these days. And the scorer is Jan Verhaas, who's just a little bit closer to the brown.
Okay. John. Thanks.
This is where they were, and this is where they are now. Well, that looks good to me, but as I say, if you're hitting it this hard, I don't think you can hit it. Well, he just managed, and that time, Willie, he did play the shot with side to straighten it up off the side cushion. So maybe, and a little tap on the tail from John Higgins, and quite rightly. So what he's trying to do there is square it off the first cushion rather than play it with the side. Got it right in the end, but he's left a chance.
And the fact that he could just play it dead weight, playing ball, didn't have to do anything with the cue ball. There's a natural angle.
2.
Body blow for Ding Junhui. Looks certain now to go 4 and behind.
Well, just looking at the facial expressions of John Higgins, he's not too happy. He's obviously too straight on the green for the shot he wanted to play. So playing for the brown in the middle, and he's played it nicely. Still needs brown and blue. The brown would only put him 17 points in front with 18 remaining. But he knocks the brown in. Ding Junhui missed the brown like that early on in the frame when he had a chance. And he sits in his chair with his arms folded, looking a little bit disgruntled. This is a frame that could have gone either way. But it's gone the way of John Higgins. And he stretches his lead now, the 4 times former champion of the world over Ding Junhui to 3 frames. 4-1.
So Ding with work to do into frame 6. He's 55 points ahead.
Well, he's entitled to be a little bit disappointed with that. He should have found the baulk cushion there, not the baulk line. John Higgins looking now, and maybe the blue has come to Ding Junhui, oh, sorry, the brown. Now this red that's near the left-hand side cushion, you've got to catch these just right. If you just catch them a bit thick, the double kiss is on. Well, he avoided the double kiss, but he didn't avoid the kiss on the blue. And he's left the pot on here. And I think this time he can't refuse it. You can refuse it, pots, if you think you've got a good safety. But He hasn't got a good safety. He's got to take this red on.
Foul.
Well, that is amazing.
John Higgins 4.
And I have to say, well, if he's going to completely turn down shots like this and not play his own game, he's got a problem in this match.
I totally agree with you, John. I mean, all he's trying to do there is protect his lead. I mean, couldn't refuse that by chance. How costly will it be? We'll know in a few moments' time, because if he gets on a colour here, he can get right back into this frame now. And get back into it he's going to do.
Yes, and I'm certain John Higgins is sitting there thinking, well, how has he not gone for that pot? It certainly takes a little bit of pressure off your safety if your opponent's refusing opportunities like that.
And now John's moved that red off the side cushion in that previous safety shot where he kissed into the blue. He'd have probably thought, oh, I've lost this frame now. And all of a sudden now, there's no difficult pot on, really. Because that red behind the black spot area is pretty easy to roll in and get on the black. He's not far off being favourite to win this frame. Just misjudged that, though. Oh, that's a Brucey bonus. Goodness me. Very fortunate there, John.
Yes, but as I say, I'm not being superstitious, but Ding Junhui has had a couple of opportunities to clinch this frame. And sometimes if you don't take them, and that's another poor positional shot, but he's landed on a red to the middle. Shake of the head from John,
60.
He's not happy with that, but Ding Junhui refused. The last red he refused there, I can't think of anyone in this championship with that kind of lead would have refused that ball.
$70. $19.
Ideally, I'd love to just flick a red there in playing that little cannon onto the pink. These two reds are still available, but it would have been easier to get onto the next colour if we'd have caught the red and pink together, because the pink wouldn't have gone so far to the side cushion. But good angle on the green. You can just stun just before the middle pocket with loads of right-hand side. JV's put a little circle in there for us. That's exactly where I'd want the cue ball. Now JV, how's his weight? Not good. Bit heavy. Still perfect though.
23. $24.
Still got to contend with this tricky red along the top cushion as Ding looks on. Now, these reds, if it's tight to the cushion, you'd fancy him getting it.
31.
He's got a nice angle, doesn't have to play in any way. If it's just off, it's tricky. It's just off. But he got it to cling to that top cushion. And now we have a new favourite for the frame.
And Ding's mindset now is going to be muddled, because if a player gets it and makes 100, you can sit there and appreciate that he's done that on his own. But when you know you've completely gifted your opponent the frame,
39.
it hurts almost twice as much, John, doesn't it? It almost feels like he's lost 2 frames, not 1.
Well, whatever his plan was when he refused that red, I don't know. As you say, he'll be thinking back on maybe a couple of pots he could have gone for. As you say, I think he was just intent on protecting his lead. You can't think like that. Not at the highest level.
I mentioned some 40 points ago, John Higgins is almost favourite to win the frame. Boy, he's massive odds on now.
46.
And that bounced a bit higher than he wanted.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. Still 5 points behind. He's up to including the pink.
Didn't get into that as well as he wanted either. He's going to have to play with just a little bit of left-hand side, just straighten it up. Well, he's played it plain ball, which makes it a lot more difficult than it should have been. A little bit of left-hand side, it'd have been a lot easier blue than this. Both its feet.
58.
Good shot. Good shot, though. The blue needed all the pocket. So Ding Junhui was 51 points in front and was asserted to win that frame. He played safe rather than take a pot on. It's cost him the frame. Higgins made 64 to win the frame and now leads 5-1. Worrying times for Ding Junhui.
So familiar territory for Ding, who found himself 4-0 down to Mark Davis in the first round, but came back to win. And he responded again this evening against John Higgins, claiming the last 2 frames of the session with breaks of 67 and 94 to reduce the arrears to 5-3 overnight. They'll return on Friday afternoon for 8 more frames, 13 required for a place in the quarter-finals. Always looked a tough match on paper, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, the bookmakers made Ding Junhui the favourite, but I don't think it was clear-cut. You know, John Higgins found a bit of form recently, and Ding's not been as strong this season as the previous season. John Higgins, of course, and distance winner. He likes the venue. Ding Junhui doesn't necessarily. But John Higgins got off to a great start. Ding responded very well, and he'd have been delighted to have won that last frame with a 94 break. The difference between 5-3 and 6-2 is massive.
OK, Steve, thanks very much. Well, day 7 is upon us. Snooker Extra is up next. We'll be back in the morning at 10 a.m. on BBC Two with Jason Mohammed for the second session of the Selby-McGill match. Hope to see you in the morning. Good night.
They're back.
So what you're looking at here is a brand